Good morning, folks. This video is just for judges. I've done two videos this morning. I wanted to make sure I had one just for chief judges and tabulators that was specific to them, and then one specific to just those that are working this weekend. I didn't want to have one long video available, so I figure if I broke it down, we can break it down into smaller chunks. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you all for being available and being able to work these 4 championship shows. We've got our jobs cut out for us this weekend. There's a lot of competitiveness, if you will, in all 4 of these classes, which will make our jobs both enjoyable because we're going to see some great shows, but it will also be difficult because we've got some decisions that we're going to have to make this week, and some of them are going to be pretty tough. Weather-wise, it's going to be very chilly. We're looking at probably the first cold weekend of the year. It's 38 degrees on Saturday. It's 43 degrees on Sunday. There doesn't look to be any precipitation, any rain in the forecast, so that's great for us. We'll be able to get off on all 4 shows. But please dress warm, be prepared for it. For those of you that are especially out on the field, you know, it's probably time to break out the long underwear. For those of us that are familiar with our New Year's Day judging assignments, if you dress like that, you'll be fine. So just wanted to make you aware of that, but it looks like otherwise from a rain standpoint, we're not going to be dealing with anything. A couple things, just want to make sure, please be sure that you are prepared with all of your judging tools, pens, pencils, your own working tote sheets. We will supply the green. If you need a schedule, they're on the website. And they're available for you to get. Make sure you please have all your sheets and make sure that you include freedom. All right, there are freedom bands that will be performing throughout championships weekend. We will be judging the freedom bands, and yes, they have been calculated into the pay for the weekend as well. So just be aware, if you see a freedom band, you are judging them. You're not judging exhibition bands, so that'll give you that time off. Please be on time, if not early, for your assignment, so we can bring down the stress level, that everybody is on site where they need to be. This is going to be in the email with our punch list, so I would please tell you to make sure you read this. I've got a list of instructions as far as championships and everything that involves. As far as Allentown, the judges' room will most probably be in the temporary makeshift press box at mid-level. Wherever you prepare is fine. There will be tables whether you go downstairs, but prior to going in, you know, that'll be where we'll all go, is in Allentown, which will be the temporary press box. In Hershey, hospitality is at the away stands. I'm going to be on site for both Hershey shows. I'll get into that in a second. We can use that for judges' room. I would just assume that we use hospitality for hospitality, since we'll be sharing that with a lot of other people. And we use kind of our makeshift room that we've used in Hershey for years for our judges' room as well. So I'll be on site both days to kind of manage that process. But make sure that you're on time as far as report is concerned. We don't want to, it's the last thing we want to do is be chasing you down for a championship show. There's too many moving parts. As far as logistics are concerned, right now I'm going to be judging American class in Hershey on Sunday. I believe, and I'm pretty sure, I'm about 90% sure I am going to be staying in Hershey for Sunday for Liberty. I do not believe that I'll be getting into Allentown at any point. So if there's any questions or any things that you need to bounce off me, my cell phone number will be on the email that will be accompanying this, and you'll be able to contact me. But during the show, obviously on Saturday, I'm not going to be able to help you out. Paul is not judging at all this weekend. So if I am not available and it's something of a judging related matter, Paul can be available to answer your questions. He will be starting the day in Allentown. He will be coming to Hershey on Saturday night for our Hall of Fame and our recognition ceremonies, and then heading back to Allentown on Sunday. So Paul will be the one that if you can't get a hold of me Saturday during show, you'll be able to get a hold of Paul. As you know, as we said, all season long, and I can't stress it probably any more than what we will see this weekend. We judge the show of the day. Yes, there is some sort of seating that went on as far as who's on the front and who's on the back, who performs in the back half of the show, who moved up from A into open. But it's really important that you judge what you see and judge what you hear, because how those things were formulated were the top 3 scores of the season. And if one of those scores was a score from early in the season, that's going to kind of skew where they were placed within the format. So for all intents and purposes, approach it as if it's a random draw show, okay? Judge the show of the day. In this case, we're judging the championship show of the day. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Do not go into this with any preconceived notions. Let the bands, let the performers tell you. Let the performers show you what they're going to be giving you and the effort that they're going to be providing. From a judging standpoint, nothing changes. We are still top box. We are still bottom box. We are balanced within that process. You're recognizing everything. Again, if they don't hear it, they don't think they're getting credit for it. All right. So even though you may have mentioned it early in the season on a file, that's fine. Do it again. You're recognizing everything from a top box perspective, and as well as not just dealing with the performance issues, but also dealing with some of the great performances that you're going to see. This is the end of the season, gang. There's no reason for us to be holding numbers. There's no reason for us to be holding on to anything. So let's make sure that as we're out there on Saturday and Sunday that we're rewarding the performances, we're rewarding the kids. There is no tomorrow. There is no next week. You have to worry about who's coming behind you. So please feel free. If the performances are there and you feel that they're warranted, please feel free to give out the number. It's okay to be in top 5, in a box 5 spot. Not a problem, okay? It's the end of the season. If not now, when? All right? So a lot of these bands are achieving at a very high level, and it's going to be that where, it's probably going to be a 1/10 of a point here or there that's going to cause, call things. So be aware of that. All right. Obviously, your box tolerance, where are you? Low, middle, high, box 3, box 4, box 5. And then also your tenths. Look at that again. What does 1 to 3 tenths mean? What does 4 to 6 tenths mean? So the value of a tenth is incredibly important this weekend. All right. It says something. It means something, probably more so now than at any week of the season because of how strong and deep each class is. So make sure when you're putting those numbers down and you're making spread decisions that you are judicious in what you're doing. If you have to make yourself notes, do so that you can refer back. All right, they should be just quick decision notes. Along the lines, there's nothing next week, so I would really ask you to keep your summary short, sweet, get on, get off. By all means, what you want to do is congratulate the bands for getting to this point in the season, their accomplishments, their work, their hard work that they've been putting through for us to enjoy throughout the season. So please make sure you're doing that. And at the end of your file, just say thank you. Thank you for coming to championships. Again, all these little things go a long way. And, like I said, react to the kids' performances. If they're giving it to you, don't be afraid to get emotional, and don't be afraid. I know I certainly did last week, and I had the kids all laughing on the field because they were pretty impressive in one of the performances I saw. So don't be afraid to react. But I want those summaries to be short, because I would rather you be spending time making short notes to yourself on why you're making decisions and focus on the numbers. Focus on the numbers. Okay, really, really important. We have, you're going to have your green sheets, and you're going to have the ability to refine. And please, I said the word refine. I didn't say rejudge the show. Okay, so make sure that you're being accurate and you're putting things down, and you're getting, as each band comes on, you're going to be a little bit more solid in your numbers management. But the green sheets are used for refinement only. Not to rejudge the whole show. So we shouldn't have to have tabulators, totally upsetting the apple cart just because you want to redo numbers. If you're going to make an error, make it on the high side, guys and gals. There's no reason to go low here. If you're arguing with yourself, make the error on the high side of the number side, and then we can, you can make your adjustments within the framework of the show, your numbers management. All judge all facets of the band. If you're music, you got to get them all. Winds, brass, percussion, front ensemble, all of it. Make sure you're moving around the ensemble. If you're on field, you're taking in all of the ensemble if you're in ensemble music. Same thing with the effect. Everything can contribute to effect. Make sure you're sampling it all. Make sure you're talking about it all. Same thing with anything on the visual side. It's not just the guard. It's not just the band. It's all of it. It's all of it is part of it. So make sure that we're faceting, we're sampling and evaluating all facets of the band. You're going to see a lot of these in the notes, but I'm saying them because I need to stress them to you. For those of you, there's only a couple of you that asked to trial. So please, if that's something you're going to do, I need to know. We can't accommodate everybody, but we can accommodate some. So this way I can let those in each press box know who's going to be trialing. We will certainly have extra recorders. That's not an issue. But I need to know so that we can make sure that we can accommodate. For those of you in Hershey, if you are not judging the show, then you shouldn't be in the press box. The press box isn't big enough in Allentown, so it's not like you can hang out there, and since it's open air, it's not like it's going to be a place to get warm. So please, do not get in the way of people who have jobs to do this weekend, and stay out of those areas, whether it's on the field or whether it's in the press box. As per usual, championship checks will be cut and they will be sent to you after championships. I will get those processed as quickly as possible so I can get them out to you. I will be sending out today, along with this video and email, I'm going to be sending out the address list. I need you to please check that for me. All your mileage has been calculated up until this weekend, which I will be doing within the next couple of days, so that I can get that off to Keith Promis, the treasurer, and we can get your mileage checks out. So I'm going to give you till Wednesday next week on the addresses to be sure that I've got everything correct, and then I'm going to be sending that over so we can get those processed as quickly as possible for you. Please remember that any of your cavalcade checks will come in unmarked envelopes, so please don't throw them out. Open everything for the next 3 weeks so that you know it's not a check that's coming to you. Let's see. I think I've got it all. You read my email yesterday with the notes as far as hospitality and being prepared. And if you need parking passes, I will again include it in this email so that you'll have it in case you didn't get something last week from a chief judge or you missed an email. Finally, I like to be on site at each of these championships and personally shake your hand and give you a hug to say thank you for your work this season. So for those of you that I won't see in Allentown, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for being available and being up for this challenge. It's going to be a pretty critical weekend, and you know, you're on these panels. You know, any of the four, you're on them for a reason. You're on them because you're the best of our community. You're representing all of us when you go out there this weekend. I said it last week. It certainly holds true this week. I should have mentioned this in numbers. You can have a subcaption tie. All right. You cannot have a bottom box tie. So if you need to do something in order to make the spreads close from a bottom box perspective, like a 110 spread, you certainly can use a tie in either box. I think it's probably a little more prevalent in top box than it would be in performance. I'd like you to make more of a decision there, but you can tie. Please, it is a tool. Use it judiciously. Our jobs are to make decisions, and we need to do that because that's how these bands are going to sort themselves out this weekend. So, you know, like I said, you're here for a reason. You're here because you're the best of our community, and, you know, you're here because you represent Cavalcade well throughout the season. So I certainly appreciate that and just want to thank you all for your hard work. Enjoy it. I know I had some great performances last week on the field. It was really great to see how far some of these bands have come, and some bands that I haven't seen in a long time. how great the performance is of. So by all means, enjoy your experience this week. Be complimentary on the files. And be as positive as you can. Yes, we have to make a call. You're going to have to call out some performance issues and things, but that's what competition is. So any questions? My reason for getting this out to you this early was so that you could listen, read, digest. All right, please do that in the next couple of days. Please make sure you review your judging sheets, your freedom sheets. Make sure you have them. Make sure you're really comfortable with your criteria, top box and bottom box. If you've judged bands throughout the season, check out your numbers. See where you were with the bands that you'll be seeing this weekend. Look back at your commentary or notes that you've put down. It's really important to be as familiar as you can with the groups that you're going to see, because we're all going to be judging groups that we may not have seen at all this season. All right, so it's going to help us be able to read those bands out and call those bands effectively, because we will at least know as much about the bands that we're going to be looking at this weekend. That's it. That's all I got. It's the end of the season. Thanks for your work all season long. I can't thank you enough, as I've done many times so far in this video. Wishing you all the best and enjoy the weekend. Thanks, gang.